Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Connecticut's Old State House. My name is Rebecca Tabor Conover, and I'm the state coordinator for Connecticut History Day, and I'm pleased to welcome you to today's award ceremony for the Mansfield History Day contest. I'd like to start by congratulating all of the students who participated in the contest for Mansfield. We're proud of all of the students who persevered through a difficult year to complete their projects. And I'd like to give a special thank you to all of the teachers who helped their students along the History Day journey, even throughout a challenging school year. I'd also like to extend my thanks to parents, and I would like to thank all of the judges, all of the many volunteers who spent hours reviewing projects, providing comments, and choosing the top 3 prizes that will go on to the state contest. We're really proud of all of the students for your hard work, and there were some really terrific projects. Today, we will be announcing the winners. We'll be giving you some information about completing your registration for those going on to the state contest, and we hope you will celebrate your achievements. I'd like to first start off by introducing and thanking our Mansfield coordinator, Cyndee McManaman. Cyndee?
Good morning. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who has made this contest possible this year, whether it's the teachers and the parents who've helped support their students in this virtual learning environment, the students who've worked really, really hard to persevere through all the research bumps in the roads that they found this year in spite of all of the virtual closures because of COVID. Research was still nice and solid. We saw some really great projects this year, and we're just looking forward to getting started with our award ceremony. I know you're all ready for your results, and I think we have a few special guests videos that we're gonna play before we get started with our awards. So thanks so much, and welcome to the ceremony.
Thanks, Cyndee. And I'd like to just thank Cyndee for all of her help. She works with us not only as a regional coordinator for Mansfield, but also in our state office. And we couldn't succeed without you. And so thank you. And I'd like to also thank my colleagues that I work with at the Connecticut Democracy Center here at Connecticut's Old State House. We are the sponsoring institution for Connecticut History Days. And I'd like to thank Nicole Sousa and Mariana Garcia for their assistance, as well as my colleagues from our CTN wing who are making today's broadcast possible. As Cyndee mentioned, we do have some special congratulations from special guests who weren't able to join us in person, but sent their good wishes virtually, and we'd like to share that with you now.
I'm Mark Healy, the head of the history department at UConn and the host of our virtual experience here at Mansfield. Congratulations on finishing your project. The judges I know have looked forward to, have enjoyed seeing them, so welcome.
I'm State Representative Brian Smith, and I just want to congratulate all the students here for the Mansfield History Day contest. While I'm wishing I could be there in person to learn about your projects, I know I can't just yet. I'm happy to be here virtually, though, to congratulate you for your hard work. I'm sure your parents and your teachers are all very proud. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Tony Moran, the mayor of Mansfield. I wish you were here in person in our town, but I welcome you virtually. I'd like to thank you and the people who are responsible for your being here, your teachers, your coaches, your families. And I'd like to thank you very much for participating in History Day. I'd like to extend my congratulations to everybody who has participated, and my special congratulations to those teams and individuals who have won their division today. I wish you best luck when you move on to the state competition.
This year, as you know, we use the registration system to run the contest. So at the conclusion of today's award ceremony, you will be able to go back into the registration system and take a look at your evaluation forms. You should see 2 to 3 forms that were completed by judges, and you'll be able to use their feedback either as you go on to the state contest or to help you for next year. As you know, the top 3 finishers in each category will be eligible for the state contest. We will send out information about that, and I'll share some at the end of our award ceremony. And now, without further ado, I know this is what everyone's been waiting for. We will announce the award winners. We're going to start with the papers. In junior, and I just want to say before we get started, if I by chance mispronounce your name or your title of your project, please forgive me. We do our best, but I hope you won't hold it against me if I mispronounce your name. For junior papers, in 3rd place, coming from Timothy Edwards School with the teacher John Smith Horn, the project is One Letter, One Vote, Redefine Democracy, How a Mother's Letter Saved Women's Suffrage by Siddharthan Muralidharan. In 2nd place, the student is Anum Khan with the project The Pony Express, an innovation that changed mail forever. The student is a student at Medina Academy with Salwa Collins as teacher. And in 1st place, from Mansfield Middle School, Letters for Understanding, Communication During the Cuban Missile Crisis by Sophia Canira, and the teacher is Jennifer McManaman. Moving on to senior papers. In 3rd place, the student is Jerson Rosario for the project Dear Miss Breed, Children's Voices During Japanese Internment. The school is Wyndham Technical High School, and the teacher is Rachel Rendu. In 2nd place, from Manchester High School, Gwyneth Smith is the student. The project is Elizabeth Magee, The Effects of Miscommunication, and the teacher is Matthew Sislowski. In 1st place, from Loomis Chaffee School, the student is Emily Kim, and the project is Left in the Pages of the Young Pioneers, a look into how breaking Stalin's nose breaks down the reputation of Stalin's young pioneers, and the teacher is Rick Taylor. Moving on to the documentary category. In junior group documentary, in 3rd place, from Timothy Edwards School, the project is The Zimmerman Telegram, The Message That Held the Fate of the War by Aaron Mickelson, Tom Melia, and Andrew Zhang. This teacher is John Smith Horn. In 2nd place, the students are Rajan Ajanaska, Tasneen Zogel, and the project is Cracking JN25, The Journey and the Impact. They're students at Medina Academy, and their teacher is Salwa Collins. In 1st place, the project is The Lost Culture, The Revival of the Wampanoag Language by Anusha Butalia and Bardini Kandukura, and they're students at Timothy Edwards School with John Smith Horn. Moving on to senior group documentaries. In 3rd place, the students are Deanna Roberts, Lindsay DeMarchi, Trinity Footman. The project is Henrietta Lacks, Miscommunication and Racism in the Scientific Community. They're students at Wyndham Technical High School, and the teacher is Rachel Rendu. In 2nd place, the students are Jacob Rodakis and Ryan King for their project, The Navajo Code Talkers, Transmitting Coded Messages to Win the War in the Pacific. They're students at Ellington High School. Their teacher is Lynn Olet. And in 1st place, also from Ellington High School, the students are Priyansi Chakravitri and Varshini Manavan. For their projects, the Barbie Masjid Demolition, a declaration of Hindu nationalism. Moving on to junior individual documentary. In third place, the student is Guru Srinivaza, a student at Timothy Edwards School with John Smith Horn for his project, Dynamics of Secret Codes, Shifting the Tides of World War I. And in second place, Jane Carty with The Heady Behind Hollywood, How a Silver Screen Starlet Revolutionized Communication Forever, another student at Timothy Edwards School. And in first place, Somil Jin for the project, The Infamy Speech, 518 Words That Changed America. The student attends Vernon Center Middle School with the teachers Regina Lee and Cyndee McManaman. Moving on to senior individual documentary. The student is Daisy Gonzalez for The Wide Awakes. Daisy is a student at Manchester High School with her teacher is Matthew Sislowski. In second place, Aiden Stradakis for his project, Music of the Vietnam Era, Protesting U.S. Involvement in the War. Aiden is a student at Ellington High School with Lynn Olette. And in first place, also from Ellington High School, John Tackett for the Zimmerman Telegram, How One Document Changed World War I. Moving on to the performance category. In junior group performance, in third place from Mansfield Middle School, the project is Communication Through Code, How the Navajo Code Talkers Saved the War by Kalyani Tahai and Sophie Marcus, and their teacher is Jennifer McMahon. In second place, the project is The Andrews Sisters, America's Wartime Sweethearts by Taruni Pandalia, Bhavini Krishna, and Sanvi Raiho, and they're students at Timothy Edwards Middle School with John Smith Horn. In first place, the students are Kathia Diaz and Sophia Carrier for Esperanto, the Language of Empathy. They're students at John F. Kennedy Middle School in Enfield, and their teacher is Brian Zwodniak. Moving on to senior group performance. In third place, the students are Anna Moser, Rose Walder, Anna Buccino, Megan Jandro, and Ryan Canton for their project, War of the Worlds, How Miscommunication Creates Hysteria, and they're students at Ellington High School with Lynn Olette. In second place, from E.O. Smith High School, the students are Lauren Levin, Matu Healy Parry, Sarah Levin, Julia Healy Carrier, and their project is McCarthy and the Jackal Pack, How the Media Exposed America's Most Infamous Senator, and their teacher is Jennifer McMunn. In first place, for Ted Sorensen, The Letter That Saved the World, Clarissa Halprin and John Margoloni, and their students at Arts at the Capitol Theater Magnet School. Their teachers are Cyndee McManaman and Regina Lee. Moving on to junior individual performance. In second place, Yamin Ahmed for The Deliberate Misinformation Used in Preparation for and During D-Day. Yamin is a student at Medina Academy with Salwa Collins. In first place, from John F. Kennedy Middle School in Enfield, the project is Mavis Beatty and the Geese That Never Cackled by Rebecca Bemis, and her teacher is Brian Zwodniak. The last performances to announce. In second place, Ryder Bidwell for Spinoza, Opening the Door to Free Thought. Ryder is a student at Ellington High School with Lynn Olette. And in first place, Julia Wilson with Concealed Colonies, Silencing Outcasts to Advance England's Well-Being. And Julia is also a student at Ellington High School. We're midway. We're going to move on to another category, to exhibits, still one of our most popular categories. For junior group exhibit, in third place, the students are Esha Mali and Lalitha Papanasam with the project Headlines, The Scoop on Hannah Bunce Watson. And their teacher is John Smith Horn, their students at Timothy Edwards School. In second place, the students are Kayla Bouchard, Jack Herman, Lauren McDonald, and their project is Opening Our Eyes, Braille and Its Possibilities, and their students at John F. Kennedy Middle School with Brian Zawadniak. In first place, the project is Mark Twain and Imperialism, Exposing the American Eagle's Talons in the Philippines. The students are Simone Thibault, Amanda Zadnik, and Sylvia Hallbrooks, and they are students at Mansfield Middle School with Jennifer McMunn. We're going to move on now to to senior group exhibits. And in first place, the students are Madison Nichols, Madeline Daska, and Ella Moser for Education in Nazi Germany, Creating a Devoted Generation of Nazi Youth, and their students with Lynn Olette at Ellington High School. Moving on to individual exhibits. Third place in junior individual exhibit is Ethan Powell for Mayday at Turnif Okay is Not Okay. Ethan is a student at Vernon Center Middle School, and his teachers are Regina Lee and Cyndee McManaman. In second place is Hayden Reel, also from Vernon Center Middle School, for Hayden's project, Communication in History, Frederick Douglass and the North Star. And in first place, Mary Lynch from Mansfield Middle School, for The Power of the Camera to Communicate, How Lewis Hine Exposed Child Labor. And Mary's a student with Jennifer McMunn at Mansfield Middle School. Moving on to senior individual exhibit. In third place from Wyndham Technical High School, Samantha Thoma for secret communications used by the conductors of the Underground Railroad. Samantha's a student with Rachel Rendu. In second place, the project is Music and Culture That Unites Nations, Christmas Truce of World War I. The student is Obadiah Zelosniak, and Obadiah is a student at Wyndham Technical High School with Rachel Rendu. And rounding it off with first place, another student from Wyndham Technical High School, Felix Colondres Rodriguez, for Native American Code Talkers. And moving on to our very last category, websites. For junior group websites, in third place, the students are Macania Hendricks, Amelia Montaneau, and Layla Fish for Free at Last, Martin Luther King Jr. and his communicative fight for social reform. They're students with Jennifer McMunn at Mansfield Middle School. In second place, Eileen Liu and Amanda Schwartzweiser for Navajo Code Talkers, Coding Across the Pacific. They also are students at Mansfield Middle School. And rounding it off, Bronwyn Mott and Bailey First for Baja Tink Yel Tas, How the Navajo Code Talkers Communicated Confidentially. Moving on to senior group website. In second place, Credence Clearwater Revival, Speaking Out on Vietnam. Jack Perrin and Alexander Quintana and their students at Wyndham High School, Technical High School with Rachel Rendu. First place goes to 1968 Black Power Salute, Raising Fists to Raise Awareness with Vincent Sivo and Diego Zaffanella. They're students at Ellington High School with Lynn Olette. And then, last but not least, we move on to senior individual websites. In third place, Michaela Scott for the creation of American School for the Deaf. Michaela is a student at Manchester High School with Matthew Silaski. In second place, also a student with Matthew Silaski at Manchester High School, is Michelle Scott for her project. Maria Colon Sanchez takes initiative to support bilingual education. And in first place, Ava Walker from Ellington High School for the telephone, a stepping stone toward improving communications on the battlefield. Ava's a student with Lynn Olette at Ellington High School. So that leads to the conclusion of announcing our award winners. Congratulations to all of the students who've been announced. For all of our students who participated, at this time, you should be able to go into the registration system. You can see your evaluation forms. For those students who have been named today and are eligible for the state contest, you don't have to re-register, but you do have to go on and give us till the end of the day. We have to do some behind the scenes work on the registration system. But beginning tomorrow, you'll be able to go online, and what you'll need to do is to just click yes to a couple of questions to get yourself set for the state contest, as well as paying the $15 fee, which is per student. We're asking that all of that be done by March the 29th, and the date for uploading your program, or for your project rather, will be April the 15th, and you will be doing something similar to what you did for the regional contests. For those of you who have been awarded a top 3 prize, we will be delivering medals later in the contest season. We're going to actually wait to the end of after states, because we're hoping to plan a tour of Connecticut in which we will stop off in different locations and we'll deliver them to your teacher. So keep posted for more on that. I want to just thank everyone who made the Mansfield contest possible this year, and I want to thank all of our students for participating, and I'd like to congratulate all of our students for a job well done. We look forward to seeing you in person next year.